You don't need solid copper to look established. Here is the hack we use to get a luxury lobby sign for cheap, and the real reason why foam letters will ruin your reputation. Follow us for more. Thanks for watching.
Let's talk about lobby signs meant for legal and financial industry companies. First, let's talk about the Hayes Law Firm and the material choice. So the Hayes Law Firm used gem leaf on brush copper, gem leaf with a brush copper finish on acrylic. Why do we recommend a metal laminate over a solid copper for an indoor? Gem leaf specifically allows us to just get a little bit more of an intricate cut. So in the case of the Hayes law firm, some of these letters are tiny, and the only way that we can get a tiny cut is to use the gem leaf material. Why do we use a laminate as opposed to the solid metal? So the solid metal costs a lot more. And that's almost always what this comes down to is what is the budget on this project? What the gem leaf and laminate option allows us to do is make a really good looking sign that reads as metal, but for a lot less money. Let's talk about Dimensionality and the Manus and Ryan sign project. For Manus and Ryan, we went with 3/4 inch thick black cut acrylic. Okay, so when it comes to lobby signs in particular, any sign that we are seeing at eye level with lighting overhead, there are two things that I love. Number one, what does our side view look like? And number two, what kind of shadow are we projecting? So as it relates to 3/4 inch thick, this was merely a law firm that wanted to get as thick as possible within their budget without going over. Pretty simple. Now, the thicker we go, so 3/4 inch, starts to cast a really nice shadow when you've got lighting overhead. And in particular with 3/4 inch, once you're looking at it from the side, you really get to see these nice, what we call returns on the sign that gives it this elegant look. All right, next, let's talk about scale and hierarchy, and as that relates to the Plautus Advisors project. Plautus Advisors sign is a massive 9-foot wide sign, and we mixed 1-inch thick letters with 1/2-inch thick letters for sub-branding. Why is that hierarchical thickness important for a financial firm, and how do you ensure a sign that big doesn't overwhelm a professional office space? So first and foremost, signs like this, these work really well when you vary the color and vary the depth because it kind of tells your eyes where to go. So you follow a path visually as to what you should be looking at. And it really makes it kind of compelling as you're sitting in their waiting room to see this. All three of these projects are unlit. In the illuminated world of LA signage, when is a high-end unlit acrylic sign actually a better choice for a professional service firm than something glowing? So this is actually really interesting because there's a couple of different paths that this answer goes down. Path number one, this simple budget. Do you have a lit sign budget, which is usually somewhere between $5,000 to $10,000, or do you have a budget that is less than that? And if that's the case, we go unlit. Pretty simple. The second part of this is, what does your business do? Are you here to make money for your client, or are you here to save money for your client? And that's where you get either the metals, the metal families, or lit. And if you are a more conservative, save money, frugal type of business, then more often than not, your sign needs to convey that subconsciously as well. Location versus durability. These firms are in prime Los Angeles and Torrance office buildings in the 90036, 91367, and 90503 zip codes. In these high traffic corporate environments, how does the 1-inch and 3/4 inch acrylic stand up to long-term wear compared to cheaper foam alternatives? So I hate foam. Let's put that out on the table. So foam, the second you look at it, you can see that it's foam. You'll start to see kind of like discolorations in the paint. If anyone chips at it, you start to see it crumbling. it looks a lot cheaper. Whereas acrylic and metal has these nice smooth sides that really give it an elegant look. Now, as far as longevity goes, if no one touched these letters ever, no one tried to clean them, no one tried to do anything of that nature, and they were just in a vacuum, the foam may hold up inside almost as well as acrylic or metal does. But that's never the case. People try to wash these, as they should. Dust collects, or more often than not, your visitors touch the sign. And this, over time, particularly with foam, just creates visual decay. So I do not recommend foam.